I've just gone on. So just refresh it.
It's showing me the old one. Just a second. It's not showing me the new one yet. I can't see the new one yet.
Well, there's nobody watching it at the moment anyway. There's nobody coming.
Oh, got it. Right. So.
Hi. Hi, Maria.
Where am I copying this to?
If you just copy it and pop it in my Facebook inbox.
Okay, one sec.
Hello. Oh, I'm really sorry, guys. I thought I'd use the webcam, but the problem is that the webcam has obviously given that horrible buzzing noise. So, thanks, Andy. So yeah, I can't really sort of, I can't use that. It was because I know that when I've used my phone before, it's not stayed in focus, and I've had all sorts of problems. But at least we're back. We're here. Are we all good? Everybody well? I'm just gonna, in case anybody's waiting on the other one. Oh dear, I'm here. Right, okay. Really sorry about that, guys. Obviously technical issues. I have got my autumn waltz out, as you can see. Let's have a look and just catch up on a few of my chat comments though for the moment. So just bear with me. My computer just doesn't seem to want to play this evening. It decided it's not my friend at the moment. But there we go.
Let's get some stitching done then.
Yeah, we're going to get some stitching done. So this live is still loading for me. Right, here we are. Right. Maria, hello. Sharon, hi. Jody, yes, you found me. Thank you very much for sending me that message. I mean, I didn't know about the buzzing, so I'm really glad that you've let me know. Brittany, hello, Brittany. Yes, obviously much better sound. I can't hear that. I couldn't hear that buzzing, but I'm pretty sure I'll hear it on playback. Petra, hello, how are you? Nice to see you coming on to one of my lives. Sandy, hi there. And Jody. Katinka, hello, Katinka. Hope you are doing well. And Missy, hello. Sharon, had an awful noise on last attempt. Yeah, well, it's there. It's gone now. I'm not going to use that again. Anna Karen, electrical disturbance in the microphone. So I've got a Chromebook and Andy's got a sort of a standard laptop, a Windows laptop. The webcam works when he's doing his lives absolutely fine. And I thought, given the problems that I've had sometimes with focus, that I'd try it on this, but obviously it doesn't like it with a Chromebook. So I don't know. Well, I guess we'll be sticking to the phone, and if it goes out of focus, then we will be giving it a nudge. Right. Okay. Sounds perfect. Great. Yes, it's lovely to see you on here, Petra. I hope you've been following my progress. I've not posted on Instagram much recently, but I hope you've been following my progress on the two lovely pieces that you RAK'd to me. So, okay. Sandy, I'm all right, thank you. We've had a bit of an effect up here with flooding. We've been on an island because all the roads are away from where I live have been been flooded in one form or another. So, you know, okay. Missy, all good today. I've been hand stitching a border on a patchwork blanket. Oh, that sounds good. Cheers again, Jodie, my love. Petra, one question. So you're not working on those things as from January 1 kit a month? No, Petra, I had to stop doing that because I started to run out of time in the months. I'm now more back in the office and I'm not at home so much. I'm 3 days a week in my office now. And I was finding that I was kind of losing my enthusiasm by about month 5 or 6. So yeah, they've gone on a back burner. I enjoy and watch your video, every progress. Oh, that's super, Petra. Thank you. So who else have we got in here who hasn't said hello, and what are we all working on? I can see Missy's got the patchwork blanket, but who's stitching and what have you got out? But whilst you're all typing that, I shall just quickly update you all, because thank you to all of you wonderful people. Andy's video is now up to how many views?
It's just about to breach 90,000. I'll just have a quick look because I'm not totally sure. I haven't looked for a bit. I felt it was kind of pointless looking after a while, because you know it was constantly getting more and more, and so there was no need to keep watching it as much. It hasn't really stopped. So we will just take a look now.
Yeah, because I'd be interested to know. I haven't had a look all day.
Oh, well, that just goes to show how much I didn't take any notice of it. It's 92.3.
Okay, 92.3 thousand stitches
views
on, sorry, 1,000 stitches. I know. You see, that's when you know I'm stitching obsessed. 92,000, over 92,000 views on Andy's videos. On Andy's video, the particular one that we were talking about. So that is absolutely phenomenal, and Andy's on target to make his earnings target as well this month. And suffice to say, I've won the bet.
You have won the bet.
Yeah, I definitely won the bet.
Yeah, you've won the bet. It was all down to your lovely stitchy friends, I think.
Yeah. So
maybe a few others besides.
There was one lady who messaged me on Twitter, not on Twitter, on Instagram, and said that she was watching it at twice the speed on 2 different devices on repeat. But yeah, it's got a phenomenal response, and you know, you guys have helped sort of push it over that edge. So thank you all very much. Right, let's have a look, see what you're all stitching on. Jodie, you're the spotted by the Cross Stitch Studio, less than 200 stitches, and I get to move my hoop. Oh, that's lovely, that, Jodie. That's progress. I like it when I get to move the hoop. It feels like I've got something done. That's fantastic. Oh, hello, Sheila. How are you? Hope you are doing well. Sharon Gecko Rouge kit on your way. Oh, yes. Well, I'm going to have a look. But I've got one that's coming first, so I'm going to get that to get here and do an unboxing. And then I'll have a look, you know, at the next one. Maria, European town losing interest. Oh, that's a shame, Maria. What kind is it? Is it a full coverage or is it a partial coverage? I find that if I'm losing interest, and I really ought to practice where I preach on this, that, you know, just doing a few stitches on it at the start and beginning of a stitchy session, and then, you know, perhaps working on something that, you know, is a favourite, that sort of tends to help. Because if you resolve to do like 10 minutes or whatever stitching on it, you might just find that, you know, you do accidentally do a bit more. Maybe that's a thought. Jodie, I went and watched and subscribed to Andy's channel. Lovely. Thank you, Jodie. He likes having no subscribers. He's actually had thicker end of 500 subscribers as well, haven't you, lately?
I should make 8,000 now before the end of the month, right?
Yeah. Okay. Sandy stitching, stocking Deer Creek, Heaven and Earth design, Donna Gelsinger, isn't it?
Did you say something?
I'm talking to my.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry, I've got my headphones on. I couldn't understand what
Brittany, I'm working on Mini Farewell to Anger from Heaven and Earth Designs, where I wait for my fabric for Donna Gelsinger's Haunted House. Ooh. Might have to have a look at that. Sharon on normal Heaven and Earth Designs at 75.08%. Sharon, that's come on a treat. You must have got some good stitching in on it recently. That's fantastic. Missy, yes, and a new kiss on the way. Yeah, I think everybody knew that I would do this. I would, win the bet. Apart from Andy.
Yes, because Andy is very much a glass half.
Half full.
Kind of
Half
person.
empty, rather, aren't you? I'm a half full and more room for vodka. Not that I drink.
I am very much a pessimist.
Brittany says, way to go, Andy. Can't wait to see the new kit.
Well, depending on what it is. I mean, I have said to Nikki, get it picked because obviously you are going to win this now. So.
Well, Gecko have just released that there's the ho 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 on the way. Ho ho ho. Yes, a surprise kit. So that could be a way to go. Ho ho.
Sounds very Christmassy.
Yep, it is. Jody says, I really enjoyed watching his show. Thank you, Jody. Jody's the lady who's in Texas Sunday.
All right, cool.
I would like to know how prepared is your flossers on every project? Are you working from a master set or do you have for each project its own threads, Petra? I do have a master set, Petra, and it is on these kind of floss cards, each number and, a certain amount. So I work from a master set, but I do have a couple of projects that have got their own kit. The Envy has all her threads in a box. Maui Princess, because I take her to work, she's kitted up separately. I take her to the office. And the Realm of Middle Earth's got separate kitting as well.
Good old Maui Princess.
Yeah. Sandy, can't wait to see what kit you pick. I'm considering the ho 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 if I can still get it, because I've got a kit that's on its way, and that's a Halloween themed kit. So here's me that doesn't stitch themes.
Well, you don't, not really.
Okay. Jody, yes, it's taken 24,000 stitches to finally get to move the hoop. Holy moly, Jody. But yeah, moving the hoop and you'll get to see the baby deer. Right. Oh, this is another good, lovely comment for you, Andy. Yeah. Sharon says, my husband watched it and thought it was brilliant. He then shared it with his work colleagues and they were very impressed.
Oh, there we go. That's probably accounts for some of the views. Thanks very much.
And her husband thought that she'd just found the video on YouTube.
Well, you did just find the video on YouTube. Just by you.
Petra, over in the Czech Republic, has also watched a video. Katinka is busy stitching the little cake shop after a week of tent stitch. It is faster tent stitching, but I do enjoy cross stitching a lot more. What is your preference? For me, it's crosses, because out of the 10 projects in my rotation, 9 of them are full cross. So, but I do like the tent one for a change, I think. Although, it did take me a little while to sort of get into the habit that I didn't have to put a second arm. So, Sharon then had to explain who Andy was after she'd shared the video. with her husband and his friends. Maria says, it's a full coverage, 11 count, 3 strands, a huge kit, holy moly. So is it because it's 11 count or because it's 3 strands, which can be a bit of a pain? Is that what's sort of bothering you about it, Maria? Is it one with a painted canvas or is it on blank canvas? Jodie says, congratulations, love.
Thank you.
Sheila's still working on World Travel Bookshelf, had a hoop move in the week. So a mainly blank hoop. Lovely. Great stuff. It gives you a nice sort of area to watch it come alive, doesn't it? Petra, love your nails today. Thank you, Petra. I had them done last week because it was about time. And yeah, I quite like having them this colour. Hannah, my eldest daughter, has got the same blue, except what she's got is a blue thumb and a blue forefinger, a pale silver glitter on white on her middle finger. Then she's got blue again on her ring finger, and then a white pinky. So yeah, she enjoys having her nails done. It's very
it's a novelty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's part of pampering, isn't it? Sharon, yes, a good stitching week, over 10,000 stitches this week. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, if you can, I mean, I've put in quite a lot this week. I've done a lot of black stitches on my Lord of the Rings piece. I've done at least 2,500 stitches on that, something like that. But it's great if you can get lots of good stitching in, isn't it? It feels like, you know, a real achievement. Maria, yes, printed canvas, yeah. I'm just itchy to start a new kit and afraid to abandon. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, because you don't want to put that one on the UFO pile.
UFO?
Yeah, unfinished object.
Oh, I've not heard that before.
Ah, you see, stitchy terminology. UFOs, unfinished objects.
UFO.
You can temporarily UFO something or permanently UFO something.
Aliens.
Okay, Anna Karen, stitching on Princess Alana again. I've been trying 24 hours of cross stitch and I can't believe how effective it was. Yeah. There used to be, years ago I had a blog, and there was quite a blogging network of stitchers at that point, and they used to do something. This is well before I met Andy, when the children were very little, something called International Hermit and Stitch Weekend, or IHSW for short. And it ran on a similar principle to the 24 hours of cross stitch, that the idea is that you set aside the weekend and all of your free time you dedicated to stitching. Well, that's no change for me, because in my free time at the weekends, that's what I do. But yeah, the 24 hours of cross stitch, if you can space it across 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's great. I mean, 24 hours over 3 days works out at either 12. If you do it over 2 days, it's 12 hours a day. But if you do it over 3, it's 8. But, you know, I would sort of have to be going up and having a walk around and, you know, doing stuff like that. I can't sit for excessively long periods of time without moving. So I've been stitching on my, High Heel Stitcher, hello. I've been stitching on my Middle Earth map by Heaven and Earth Designs, but now having a relaxing bubble bath. Lovely. Sounds cool.
I hope it's not cool. I hope it's a nice warm.
Well, yeah, I hope it's a nice warm bubble bath. I mean, we've had some awful weather here in the UK. We had some really heavy, really bad rain. Lots of places have been flooded. Some of my friends, 1 or 2 of my friends have been flooded out of their homes. In fact, one of them had to be rescued by a dinghy.
Yep.
And you know, like I said, in my town, there's lots of places affected, although we're not the worst. It's not pleasant, you know, to know that there's lots of people who are struggling because of flooding. We didn't go out. Me and Lauren were supposed to go to Manchester on Saturday for a day out, but of course, because of the bad weather disrupted the tram service and it disrupted the train service. So we cancelled that, and we went out for lunch in sort of the next village, which we managed to get to okay. But we haven't really sort of gone anywhere because we know that it's just, you know, chaos at the moment. So yeah. Jodie says that's horrible. We're praying for everybody. Yes, I think people do definitely need that at the moment, Jodie. Anna Karen, yes, it is the storm Babette that's caused the problems. Little Loops has been flooded out of her home. She's in Catcliffe. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Sharon. She lives about, how far is Catcliffe from here? About 5 miles?
Something like that.
About 5 miles away. My brother lives in the same village, but he's on a hill. So, yes. It was devastating for her because after the last floods in 2007, they put some flood defences in place, and the water literally came over the top of the flood defences. There was that much of it. And, you know, luckily her little girl wasn't with them at the time. It's just her and her husband. So, you know, they were able to, excuse me. So they were able to, you know, be rescued, but because there's no sort of vulnerabilities or, you know, age or illness between them, they were not deemed as a high priority, which I suppose is fair enough, especially when we're trying to get a lot of people moved. I mean, Catcliffe, they probably had, well, they had to have a number of people evacuated from the homes. Elderly had to be evacuated, and lots of pieces where, lots of houses where Sammy lives have to be evacuated. So, oh dear. But, you know, hopefully these, you know, there won't be too much damage and these people can be back in their homes sooner rather than later. There's a new development just outside of Catcliffe as well, called Waverley. It's on the old Orgreave pit site, and that's also been affected, but not as badly as Catcliffe. We had a lot of rain. We have a lot of rain all next week. Fingers crossed it doesn't flood around here. We've also got rain forecast, and from what I saw earlier, the UK will still be under a flood alert until at least Tuesday.
It better not flood in Cambridge. That's where I'm going this week.
Yeah, although we haven't had any more rain since Saturday, we'll still be on flood alert. And I'm sure you've just heard Andy say he's off to Cambridge, so we're hoping that, you know, that it doesn't escalate again.
I'll soon know because one of the ones down there is.
Oh, people will tell you.
One of the ones down there is right on the banks of the River Cam, so hopefully.
Yep. Okay, Petra, I know you're not going to start new projects next year, but are you eyeing some? Right. If that makes sense in English, sorry. What? Of course it makes sense, Petra. I know what you mean. Am I having a little look around? Am I getting enabled? I'm being enabled all the time. So, to be fair, I have plenty to be going on with. You know, I don't know if I've got sort of any more plans apart from this kit that I've won from the vet. I don't know what I'll be doing next. Sharon, when I was insurance loss adjuster, I was sent to Catley to deal with the insurance claims in 2007. It was awful as there was no accommodation. Yeah, I understand that. Why are we whispering?
Because you're on live and Laura's trying to tell me something.
Oh. Yeah, and they had caravans on their driveway as well. That's if they're still there and haven't floated away. But yeah, it's not good for the residents down there. Not good at all. It's interesting because I actually looked at a house not far away from where Sammy lives. I looked at it back at sort of, 1998, 1999 time. And it was literally just before the bridge where the boats were sort of going onto the water to go and rescue people. So, but yes, I absolutely feel for the people of Catcliffe. It's been awful. And, we know that some people, it's been on the news that some people have sadly lost their lives in the floods. We've even seen a lighthouse that's had its top taken off. We've had trees come down. What else have we seen in this storm, Andy?
Well, floods, lots of them.
Well, apart from floods and that, what else have we seen? Just going to blow my nose.
Quite a few idiots trying to drive through them.
Oh yeah, that makes no sense whatsoever. It's throwing it down with rain, so people go and get in their cars and go off and drive somewhere. They don't need to go somewhere; they just want to. And then they wonder why the cars get stuck in flood water and they can't get them started again, or the cars start to float away, which has actually happened as well. That's what people do in this weather. But like I said, it's been over 24 hours since we had any rain. And although we have some forecast, we're just hoping that it won't be heavy, but we are still under that flood warning. When I chose this house, when me and my ex-husband were looking to buy this house, we chose it on purpose because it was on the top of a hill with level access to a main road. So in snowy or icy weather, we could still get out within easy walking distance of the school and within easy walking distance of shops where I could at least get basic provisions. So, even in the floods, it's again proven useful because although we haven't any need for the school because it's half term here, we've got level access to the main road. So if we did need to get anywhere, that's fine. And we've got the local shops for provisions, for bread and milk and so on. Oh, excuse me. So we're not going to go without. Missy, the storm has been awful in Denmark as well, and I'm so lucky that the wind came from the east. I was in good side, but when the wind comes from the west, it can be bad in my town. Yes, I think the wind had started sort of dying down a bit by the time it got to us. So, but it was still quite strong. Hello, Clara. Lovely to see you. Missy, you live in a harbour city. So, yeah, so you'll get it sort of, twice fold, won't you? Because not only will you get the wind, you'll also get it coming in off the sea. Anyway, me and Lauren are going to rearrange our trip, and we might not go to Manchester. We might go somewhere else. She's got the choice of anywhere on the map. So we're going to go and... Oh, no, that's not right. We're going to go and have a night away at some point. Been a bit disappointing for her, but I think Lauren agrees that, you know, better to be safe than potentially to get stuck in Manchester and not able to get home, because I was keeping an eye on the railway departures, the train departures, and they were being cancelled left, right and centre. Cancelled or delays or severe delays and disruption due to weather. So no, I wouldn't want to get stuck. Come on. So we all went out and had lunch out. And I was very good, stayed to my diet. Oh, another 2.5 pounds this week. So that is 2 stone, 3.5 pounds, or 31.5 pounds if you go down that route. Apparently, the top part of my arms looks thinner, which is good. So it's come off the bottom of my tummy and the top part of my arms thus far. So Andy tells me.
Yes, it has.
I am getting there slowly, slowly.
The ode of remembrance.
Ooh, thank you very much.
Oh, where am I going to find this?
I'm going to be seeing one of the managers at work on Tuesday that I haven't seen since July. So I think she's going to be quite shocked when she sees me this next week. Speaking of fingers there, Missy, I've got the 2 rings, my wedding ring and my eternity ring, which have sat sort of quite comfortably next to one another. Oh, this camera. They sat quite comfortably next to one another, but now they are actually starting to, you know, the eternity ring starting to slip into and underneath the wedding ring. Or is it the other way around? Anyway, they're starting to cross over on my fingers. So, you know, these are the little things. But I did also have what I call a non-scale victory. I went to the coffee machine at work and I looked down and I couldn't see my tummy. You know, I could actually see my feet without, you know, seeing a big tummy in the way. So that's good. Made them all laugh at group with that one. So, yeah, 10 weeks in, and I haven't done a single exercise because I don't do exercise. It's not my thing. I might have to at some point, but, you know. Oh, what colour is this one? 936. Stitching's the best exercise. Well, that's what I'm saying anyway. 581. 581. Yeah, I know you say there, Missy, that you can see it on my face. I can't see it on my face, although I don't quite have as many chins. I can't see much of a difference, but I would imagine that in time it'll come. But, you know, things like walking around is getting easier, up and down stairs, silly stuff like, you know, I can have a nice sort of brisk walk and not get out of breath, which is great. You know, I really don't like, you know, getting out of breath and going out with Andy and having to sit out, you know, doing part of a village because I'm too tired.
Well, the next time you're coming with me, I don't think you're going to sit out a single bit, are you?
I don't think so, no. We're going to Cumbria, aren't we? Like,
no.
Oh, no, it's Nottingham, isn't it, next?
Yes. And you guys out there will probably want to watch this one that we're talking about when it eventually is done. Because it's
yeah, we're doing a very special video.
A special one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should we tell them or should we just keep them in suspense?
We'll keep it in suspense for now. Petra, I am following a plan called Slimming World. And basically it's I can eat as much fruit and vegetables as I want, as much lean meat as I want. Fibre is controlled, certain dairy is controlled. And things like, I don't, you know, you can still have sort of treats and things, but basically it's a diet where there are very little fats and very little refined flours and sugars. And I've been doing it for about 10 weeks now. Excuse me. And I'm doing all right.
I actually read this website now. Why am I looking for it?
And I started it in August. Let me just grab the book. Where's my book?
Ugh.
Right. I started it in August. The 10th of August I started. And I've been weighed 10 times and I've lost that 2 stone 3.5. So yeah, really, really pleased. It's going well. And I have no plans to stop. I mean, the people at work know that I'm doing it, and you know, they've even like planning their Christmas meal around the foods that I can have and all sorts, so which is fantastic. So, well, I'm in office 3 days a week, but it remains to be seen if the trams will be back on because they were flooded off. Hi, Mrs. Miggins. How are you? Thank you very much. Thank you all for your lovely comments. And it is off Cambridgeshire way this week. So, like I say, we're just hoping that there isn't any flooding or very little down there. We know that it's not quite there, but it's on the way. Melton Mowbray was quite flooded. Does your family join in your diet or do they cook separate meals? I tend to eat very simply, very sort of plain food. The family, probably 50% of the time I can eat the family meal. But sometimes I can't. So I'll just cook myself something very simple. The family do tend to join in because, like, Andy has taken to the habit of having fruit and yogurt at breakfast time like I do, and he likes the cereal bars that I get and so on. So, and you know what it's like when you go to the supermarket and you buy a few bits and pieces that are just meant for you and then the whole family want them. It's kind of a bit like that in this house. So Yes, we're good, thanks. I don't know if you heard about the video, Mrs. Miggins, if you've come in a touch later and not heard, but Andy is over 92,000 views, and he will definitely make his earning threshold. So I've got a Gecko Rouge kit pretty much in the bag. And I'm thinking of the Ho 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 that's coming out. Be a nice round off to the year, that, wouldn't it? So Andy is chuffed to bits. He's sat here editing, and he's a little bit more conversational tonight than he was last time.
I'm writing about another Beyond the Boundaries I'm going to be making in a. Well, I'll probably make it tomorrow actually, but I'm not. I can't put it out tomorrow.
Why?
Because it's going out on the day it's meant to go out, and that would be November the 11th.
Oh, I know. I keep viewing it on 2 tablets. Brilliant.
Anyone like to guess why it's going out on November the 11th?
It's remembrance. It's the armistice, the Remembrance Day. Yeah. Yes, it's down to the wonderful support that Andy's had that it's doing so well. So it's given him, I think, the boost he needs as well, hasn't it, love?
Yeah.
A few more videos like that, and the channel will be self-sufficient. Yeah. So anybody got any news, anything they want to share? Any successes, anything good? Anybody got any stash that they want to share with me to enable me a bit more? Missy says she likes watching Andy's channel. She's learning a lot. And it's a very good video, Andy. Lots of info. It's from Mrs. Miggins.
It's quite difficult to piece it all together at times.
So Sharon asks, will Andy do any more videos that are similar to the one on the old classic TV? Well, it's funny you should say, because can I say which ones?
I guess.
Because we're looking at one for the last of the summer wine, because Home Firth is not far from us. And also one for keeping up appearances.
The Bouquet residence, the lady of the house speaking.
So yeah, we'll be looking at those. Of course, we're not. I mean, I know we're a bit further away from there, but we're not a million miles away from Goathland as well.
Goathland?
Heartbeat.
Oh yeah. You have to remember though that the main aim of my channel is not that kind of video.
Yeah, but it's a nice addition to the channel, isn't it?
It's a nice addition, yeah. It's
popular. So the answer is yes, if and when I can persuade him.
Like I need persuading.
Yeah. Oh, fab, we watch them most nights on TV Gold. I love Mrs. Bouquet. I actually found out that it was rather sad that the lady who played Elizabeth, that she'd passed away a couple of years ago. And I was quite sad about that because I always thought she was a wonderful actress. So that was a bit sad. But yes, Andy knows whereabouts the house is in Binley, in Coventry.
117 Heather Road, Binley Woods.
Yep. And I say we're not far from, and Home Firth is very much, last of the summer wine, and it embraces last of the summer wine as well. Well, it's not stitching related, but I'm going to Sweden on a weaving retreat. That sounds fabulous. I would love to learn to weave. There's nobody near me though that can teach me. I'd have to sort of go. We do still have loom weaving in the UK, but mainly it's up in Scotland or in Ireland. I've not found anywhere locally that does weaving, but I would imagine that textiles in colleges and universities would do it. But I'd love to learn to weave. And she's going to buy a lot of weaving yarn. Yeah, you definitely need a lot of weaving yarn. Nicola, when are you going to go around the country visiting all the different sewing and craft shops? Well, that's a really good plan, but I think Lynn, the Lancashire Stitcher, has kind of got that covered because I've seen very often she's at the Nimble Thimble and the Patchwork Rabbit and so on. So I think she's pretty much got that covered. Yeah, she was very understated as an actor. She was in a couple of episodes of Last of Summer Wine. Oh, was she? Oh. Didn't know that. But yeah, Patricia Routledge is in her 90s now, which is...
Sorry.
Yeah.
Richard, he's gone.
Yeah, he passed away, didn't he, a few years ago.
Onslow's gone and all.
Yeah, and Rose.
And Rose, yeah. Daisy's still about.
What did they call him?
Who?
Her brother. Elizabeth's brother.
Oh, Emmett. He's still good.
Yeah. What other classic comedies are you into there, Sharon? If you like Keeping Up Appearances and Last of Summer Wine and Open All Hours and things, what else is on your list? My favourite all-time classic is The Good Life. I absolutely loved The Good Life. Richard Bryars and Felicity Kendall. And what do they call her? Penelope Keith. And what was his name? Paul something. Who was a long-suffering husband. I only knew that as we watched an episode last week with her in it. Oh, so it was like a cameo kind of thing, was it? Or is she coming in as a regular? I haven't watched Last of Summer Wine in some time. It was one of those things that we used to watch when I was a kid. I think it used to be on a Sunday evening. All Creatures Great and Small, Last of the Summer Wine. Usually after my mother would finish watching the Antiques Roadshow, and when Songs of Praise were on, we'd all go and have our tea.
Oh dear. Oh, is that good enough, do you think?
I don't know. Is it? Etherington. Is it Etherington?
Etherington.
Paul Etherington. Sounds very similar to Paul Etherington.
Who's Paul Etherington?
Him who was the husband in Good Life.
I never watched it. That one was a bit before my
Eddington.
time.
Paul Eddington. That's it. It was close. It was close to Etherington. Eddington. It was my husband, really. He only watches the old ones at the moment. It's The Good Life and The Green Green Grass, Only Fools and Horses. Oh, that's another one. My husband has yet to discover the TV has other channels. Wait until you introduce him to things like Netflix. My stepdad's just been introduced to Netflix. I think he quite likes it. He's found a few bits on there he's enjoyed watching. I'm one of those people, I can take it or leave it with television. You give me a podcast or something or a bit of YouTube and I'm happy. I've just actually put our television on tonight because Lauren wanted to record Corpse Bride. And this is how long it's been since we've watched our television. I opened up the TiVo box, the recordings. There were 276 episodes of Holby City. And Holby City stopped broadcasting last year. We don't watch it very often. He discovers a new TV series when it appears on UK Gold. Do you know there were some cracking series back in the 80s? It's quite like things like Brushstrokes, May to December, that one was good. Good Night, Sweetheart.
I don't know most of these because, I mean, obviously I was born in 84.
Well, Good Night, Sweetheart was more 90s. It had Nicholas Lyndhurst in it.
Didn't watch it. I associate him more with Fools
Only
and
Fools,
Horses.
yeah.
Rodney.
Do you know he's going to be appearing in Frasier?
Is he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or one of the Frasier spin-offs.
The whole Frasier thing, the original series was good. Used to watch that on Channel 4. I don't know whether this new series is going to be any cop, to be honest.
Well, I can as well say I am one of the people who has never watched a single episode of Friends, and I've never watched a single episode of Game of Thrones.
To be honest with you, neither have I.
Because neither one of them interested me.
I recognise Friends if I see it on the telly, but I couldn't tell I couldn't tell you anything about it. I can tell you the characters: Ross, Rachel, Chandler, Joey, Phoebe, and help me out. Who's the other one?
I don't know because I'm so rubbish.
I'm sure they'll tell us. I'm sure they'll tell us.
People are like, I don't watch TV, I'm addicted to audiobooks as you can stitch and listen. That's why I like a good podcast. Or like I might listen or watch or put something on that I've seen before. So just listening to it is enough of the effect. Monica, that's it. Did you watch Dad's Army? Yes, used to watch Dad's Army as well. And what was the other one? It Ain't Half Hot, Mum.
Oh yeah, Dad's Army. That was classic. That was a classic. I have actually been to a place where one of the Dad's Army cast is buried.
I love Thy Neighbour, Steptoe and Son. Steptoe and Son, that was brilliant. I love Steptoe and Son.
Harry H. Corbett.
And Wilfred Bramble. I was saying, Wilfred Bramble never had a problem when he was leaving the studio after filming. He would slip out of the studio and not be noticed, or off the set and not be noticed, because he looked so different in real life than what he did as Old Man Steptoe. But Harry H. Corbett didn't look too different to Harold. So he was sort of constantly, mobbed and things, and he could never sort of slip away after the day's filming. He had quite a hard, time of it in comparison.
Is what I've written there any good?
Some good advice there, Miss. If you're on your course in Stockholm area, then there's a big sewing crafting fair there. Not a lot of cross stitch, but a lot of yarn. Miss it, I'm subscribed to BritBox. Yeah. Lots of British comedy on there. Sharon, they wouldn't be allowed today, not politically correct. That's the sad thing, isn't it? That, you know, there's such a lot of stuff now that would not be allowed because somebody would be offended by it.
I'm just going to go upstairs and record this.
All right, lovely.
I don't know whether it's any good, but we'll see.
It's a bit of a shame, but, you know, I'll be honest with you, I've been hard pressed to find a new program of sort of comedy that I'd be inclined to sit and watch. Just nothing there that interests me. The last thing that I actually found of any real substance to watch on terrestrial television, which I usually watch on catch up anyway, is the ITV series Unforgotten, which I absolutely love. I've watched all of them. I did prefer Nicola Walker though, but I'll still happily watch it. You know, with this new character in it, Sinead something, I think her name is. But I certainly haven't seen any comedies. I hear them talking all the time at work about programs like Gogglebox, you know, where they're doing the television reviews and things like Married at First Sight and Big Brother and I'm a Celebrity and all that. And they just leave me cold. I don't bother with anything like that. But yes, I should be having a fun time clearing out the recording on the TiVo box, 200 and odd episodes of Holby City. And I've had a look, there's no way to bulk delete them, which is a bit of a pain. But there we go. So yeah, it's been a quiet day today. We've changed up our Sundays a little bit. We normally have our main meal at sort of 4 or 5 o'clock. But because it's a little bit dark for my stepdad to be sort of driving back home, he's in his 80s. And whilst night driving's not an issue, dusk driving is awful, just as it's going dark. So he's kind of switched it up a bit this week. So instead of coming at tea time for his meal, he came at sort of lunchtime. So he was here at 1 o'clock and left sort of by just after 3. So he was home in plenty of time before it got dark, which has improved things for him no end. And I can hear a few early fireworks going off. Although we've still got a couple of weeks or so for fireworks night, they're already going off. What else has been happening here? Not very much. Her across the road, heard very little from her, apart from apparently she was arrested. I've heard little else. And she's moved towns again, I know that much, but I'm not entirely sure where she is. The house has been the council have been in there and done some work on the property to get it ready for the next tenant. Hopefully we'll have somebody nice. No more drama. Don't want any more drama. Absolutely fed up of having drama on this street. We just want a nice time now where it's a bit peace and quiet. It'd be nice. I do like stitching on this piece and stitching these little motifs. They don't seem to take so long. I'm already at 10% of this pattern.
This is like
we got here? Got a couple of comments. I'm with you, Nicola. Game of Thrones was good if you like medieval stuff. Not really, I have to be honest. We did go to, when we were in Northern Ireland a couple of years ago, we went to Ballintoy, where part of it was filmed. And we obviously, we knew that there was a Game of Thrones connection, but I think for both me and Andy, we just, you know, Game of Thrones is not something that interests us, is it?
We're not Game of Thrones fans, are we?
Nope.
Dennis is.
Yeah.
That's Nicky's stepdad.
And my brother is as well.
Is he? Oh, I didn't know that, to be fair.
Of course, change clocks back next week. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
An extra hour's kip, if the cat allows it.
Well, the cat's been allowing it last couple of days because we've been lazy and not been getting up very early.
Well, no, I mean, last night I had the immediate neighbours. I heard the baby crying next door at about 1:30, well, about 1:20 this morning. And, you know, it's not often that I get woken up by the sound of this baby crying. But she was crying, she was screaming, crying.
Got some lungs on it. Definitely
got some lungs on her. And then the next thing I knew, both parents were arguing about who was seeing to the baby, and we could hear. Well, I could hear it clearly, which I wasn't very impressed about because it kept me awake for an hour. I'm currently reading book 1 of 12 Terry Goodkind series. Did your other neighbour sort out the troubles following them sorting the other neighbour's estate? The only way they sorted it out really was by getting rid of the car, and then there was no chance of them, the car being damaged again, which is a great shame. And it's awful because this lady still doesn't feel like she wants to leave the house. But to be fair, everything that's happened with her in the middle has kind of took the attention away from them, as it were. I saw him on the bus the other week. I saw the mister on the bus the other week, and he didn't say anything. He didn't mention, but, you know, obviously they've got rid of the car and they're using taxis. And it's so unfair that they can't have a vehicle without risk of it getting damaged because of somebody's flaming jealousy. But yeah, we're just hoping for peace and quiet now.
That's all we want.
Maria, I have a lady neighbour who screams at her very young children. I've called the police. I don't blame you. And this argument was going on for some time, and there was quite a lot of swearing going off. And I could hear this quite clearly through my wall at 1:30 this morning, 1:45 this morning. I didn't get back to sleep until 2:30. And I said to Andy, if I hear them doing it again in front of the children, I will be going round there and telling them to pack it in, because the children shouldn't be exposed to that kind of language. They've got a little boy there who's about 3 as well. The children shouldn't be exposed to that kind of language. And it's, you know, they will end up damaging the children.
Just so you know, I didn't hear this last night.
No, Andy slept through it.
I don't know whether to be proud of that or not.
I think you should be. I think you should be grateful, because I think it would have annoyed you.
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. It probably would have been, but, you know, I didn't hear a thing. I didn't hear a goddamn thing.
But yes, I shall be issuing a warning if I hear them again, because I don't think it's very fair on the children at all. I mean, would you really want, you know, to be sort of growing up in a household where mummy and daddy are shouting at one another, but you can't understand why? All you know is that it upsets you. And, you know, we've seen some of their behaviours as parents, and whilst it might not be something that we do, it doesn't mean to say that it's wrong. But what she was screaming at him last night was completely unjustified.
Well, as far as we know, it
from what we've seen, was unjustified.
Yeah.
They very often go out with the children in the car, and they'll come back quite late, 10 o'clock at night, which for me, I think when you've got a 10-month-old and a 3-year-old, I think that's quite late, and they should be in bed tucked up by 7 o'clock at the latest. Children need their sleep. Sleep is very good for children. It's good for growth. And when we see them coming in, he's the person who drives, but then again, he is also the person who gets both of the children out of the car and takes them into the house. After about 10 minutes of just sitting there, she will eventually amble her way out of the house. Now, whether or not she's got a physical problem, I don't know. I don't know them well enough to know. But the accusation that she was bandying at him was that he was lazy, where the children were concerned. But I've not seen, like I said, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but I've not seen any inkling of lazy. I've seen him taking on the brunt of the parenting. But Andy's quite right. We don't know what happens behind said closed doors. So, but if I do hear them, because they were arguing again this morning, and if I do hear it again, and those children are getting upset again, I will be going around there and I will be saying, don't do it in front of your children. I'll happily look after your children if you want to settle your differences. But do not do this in front of your children, because if you continue in the manner that you are, I will be taking it further. They need to, it sounds awful to say this, but it's kind of like they need to get their acts together a little bit and just not be doing this kind of thing around young children who don't need it. Yeah. Sometimes there's raised voices in this house, but my children are a lump older. They are teens, and Hannah's in her 20s. So they understand when there's a disagreement and an argument. When they are so very, very young, it can be damaging. That's just my opinion. I can remember as a young woman and as a child, my parents arguing, and I didn't like it at all. Even as a teenager, I didn't like it. But, as a very young child, I can remember it upsetting me because my parents did it quite a lot. Anyway, I just hope for a good night's sleep tonight. So yeah, I've got 3 office days planned in this week. Let's hope the tram service is sorted. Oh, Jodie, don't apologise. It's fine. Life gets in the way sometimes, and people ring up at the most unexpected time. My stepdad normally rings at about 7 o'clock in the morning because he knows I'm up. So, don't worry about that. It's fine. You can always catch up on replay. My parents argued at night when we were meant to be asleep, and like you, it frightened me. Yeah. My parents were a bit like that too. They did try and keep it to when we weren't around, but you still knew. I would imagine though that, if she was shouting and effing and blinding over the baby last night, that, the likelihood is that it will have woken the little boy up as well. So, being disorientated, woken up in the middle of the night, can't have been very kind. I think she has a radar when I'm with my stitchy friends. Yeah, probably. It's like, us when the house phone rings. I can guarantee it's when we've sat down to eat, my brother will phone. Or at one point you could guarantee it, couldn't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or you'll just nip upstairs to, nip to the bathroom or whatever. and somebody will knock on the door.
It happens. I'm afraid.
Yep, sod's law. Yep, it does happen indeed. It's another lovely lot of you in tonight. It's lovely. I still plan on doing these every week, so I'm hoping that you're all going to stick around. It's kind of nice for me because it's a nice way to end my week and start my next stitchy week with a chat with friends. It is pretty, Mrs. Miggins, yes. I still haven't had a look at Caroline's website. And had a look, see if there's a spring, a summer and a winter version. I ought to do, really, because like I said, I think this one will lend itself very nice to a cushion cover. Yeah, I so enjoy these. I'm glad you do, Jodie. It's really nice. I like to be able to put out content that suits everyone. You know, I often get comments that saying, I don't watch this one or I don't watch that one. And it's fine, because you can always catch up with me on the format that you are happy and you know, you do want to watch. Some people watch everything. Some people watch very selected bits, and that's absolutely fine. Yeah, beautiful piece. Danny, so glad I managed to make it. I have not been able to catch you live before. It's lovely to have you here, Danny. Welcome. I hope you've got your stitching out. And if so, let me know what you're working on. Are there any sewing and crafting fairs in Great Britain worth visiting? Asked Katinka. Well, there's usually one at Alexandra Palace. There's a knit and stitch show at Harrogate usually as well. I think this is kind of the time of year for it. I think the Alexandra Palace one was a couple of weeks ago. Ali Pali's lovely. It's just a big hill, isn't it, Andy?
What's that, sorry?
Ali Pali, big hill.
Yeah.
But we don't tend to have much. I think there used to be a big one at Earl's Court at Olympia, but of course that's no longer operational, I don't think. So it all moved to Ali Pali. I've been to one or two, but it's not something I do make a habit of, if I'm honest. Although I keep saying I ought to go to one of these. I think I'd like it, but working on disintegration. Is that Heaven and Earth, or, you know, who's the designer and where's the chart from for that one, Danny? Clara, I will stick around. Good. I'm glad you will, Clara. I'm banking on you. There's a Christmas craft fair at Sandringham soon. So,
Royalty.
Yeah. You know, that's the other thing that I've looked at, the Royal School of Needlework. Oh my God. Some of the gold work and stump work pieces that you know you've seen from them are absolutely stunning. Yarndale is a big wool fair in Skipton. Brilliant, but no stitching. And you see, if I was a yarny type, I think Andy had divorced me as well as being a stitchy type. Because if it was a yarny type, we'd never have anything. Ah, Heaven and Earth by Stephanie Poy-Munlo. Yeah, I'm doing She Sleeps. Yes, I've quite enjoyed stitching on this one. It's nice just to do each individual motif, and it builds up the picture, doesn't it? Do a motif at a time. What have I done here? Oh, do you know, blinking heck, I've missed out a whole row of stitching. Silly sausage. It's all right.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
Cool.
I just need...
I agree, Nicholas. A nice way to end a week and gather calm and energy to tackle Monday. Have you ever noticed how the working week is about 8 or 9 days, but the weekend is 30 seconds? Because I certainly have. I was really into knitting before I got back to stitching after a 15-year break. Don't knit as hurts hands and would rather stitch. Yeah, I can knit. I haven't knitted anything since the children were babies, but I can knit. Victoria, my middle daughter, is a self-taught knitter. So my mother was an exceptional knitter. She really was. She was absolutely brilliant. She used to do like errands and stuff, and you know, all kinds of complicated things. She really was very, very good. Oh.
Nikki, tomorrow when your stitch with me is processing on the laptop, I'm going to just nip out to the cenotaph, which is the one to the church. I'll literally be 5 minutes because I literally just want a handful of shots of it.
That's fine, sweetheart. That's fine.
And then I can make this video.
Yeah. I'm trying to dip my toes into knitting, but been crocheting since forever. Stitching is only since this year, but I absolutely love it in the community. Yeah, I tell you, the stitching community is just awesome. I went to the retreat. I went to a retreat last year, a stitching retreat, only physically knowing one person. Knowing, you know, some of the others by sight and floss tube and so on, but I came out of the retreat thinking that I'd known them all for years.
That's because you've got something in common.
I've still done something wrong there. Oh, no, I haven't.
You've done something wrong?
No.
Oh. Don't tell me you've got to start frogging.
No. Get that frog away.
Rip it, rip it.
Keep that frog away.
See, frogging, that's a stitching term I definitely know. Nikki doesn't frog that often, but...
No, very, very seldom. But when I do, I swear a lot.
Oh, yes. You definitely weren't frogging Night Cafe, though, were you?
Nope. 40,000 stitches? You must be joking.
Imagine having to frog that lot.
It's coming back into rotation soon. Could be another week, maybe, and it comes back out.
What can I say?
I've got Sailing Fairy on the agenda this week and Daughter of the Deep. So let's take Maui Princess into work with me again.
Good old Maui.
Yeah, chip away at her while I'm on my lunch.
I do like Maui Princess.
It's a very beautiful and bright piece. Can't get this needle threaded.
That's been the bane of your life today, threading needles.
Yeah. You know, one of them days where you just can't thread a damn needle. Oh, this one. Yeah. 2 eyes and it looks like a more of a Halloweeny face, doesn't it? Let's see what's coming up actually in rotation this week.
I'm about done here, I think.
Yeah, I'm not far away. Sailing Fairy, Daughter of the Deep, and then Night Cafe. So
Done a lot today, considering.
Don't have the nerve to have multiple projects, I guess, being so new to stitching. Give it time. I was a monogamous stitcher back in the day, and now I have 10 projects in my regular rotation.
It's very easy to get the stitchy bug.
Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely.
The stitchy bug is a definite thing. I didn't believe it at first, but I met Nikki.
Right.
North Yorkshire. Hang on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Damn it.
I'm a pattern collector, though. I'm only 6 lifetimes. Yes, I'm the same for that one, Danny. As much as I love finishing my heights, I find I miss them when they're finished. Yeah, it's almost like you go through a bit of it's like a kind of a grieving process, isn't it? Because you miss it that much. You almost wish for, to go back 6 months or whatever.
Yep.
I was like with Avarice, because Avarice had been on the go for such a long time. When it was finished, I missed it. But then I soon started Envy, and now I don't miss Avarice anymore.
Envy looks pretty cool as well right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, talk about living on the edge.
They're all looking pretty cool, all my pieces. I'm going to try a rotation next year. I have so many patterns I brought and I haven't kitted up, so give them a try. Yeah, I find that having a rotation has helped me an awful lot, because it means that I'm not forgetting about a piece. So, being able to, my rotation is 2 days, 2 days with everything. So I'm working on this. Tomorrow I should do a stitch with me, and I shall get out probably Sailing Fairy again. Although I might do it with this one, because tomorrow's the second day with this. If I get at least 500 stitches in this tomorrow, then yeah, I'll jump across to the next one, kind of thing. I mean, that's the other thing. Envy, I won't put any more than 500 stitches in, but other pieces I'll go like 14 and 1500 stitches before I stop or I change it out. So funny how it works. I use the Stitch Pal app as well, and I think, oh wow, I've got a lot of stitches in this. It's going to be finished in 2 years' time, and then next time I look at it, it's got 4 more years added to it because I've not stitched on it in the in between. So we'll be having a chatty stitch with me in the morning. So you can look forward to that this week. And the floss tube as usual on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, I will put out the chatty stitch with me. But if my Gecko Rouge kit turns up, there will also be an additional unboxing video. So something else that's going out. Right, I have done a lot of stitches. I have done 280 stitches, which leaves that just nicely for me to look at ending this stream. Jodie, I really miss Mr. and Mrs. Cardinal when I finished them, and I still do. It's like leaving an old friend. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's right. So I'm going to leave this stream here. We have done we've done an hour and a half, guys. An hour and 25 minutes. But I'm going to leave this one here and tell you all, thank you all so much for watching. Same time, same place next week. FlossTube Tuesday, Stitch With Me Wednesday, Stitch With Me Friday, and unboxing potentially some point in between. But yeah, I'm going to go clear off and hope for a better night's sleep tonight. So I will see you all next week. All right. And Andy will say bye-bye as well. And another
what? What?
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Thank you for all watching my stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Because apparently it's entertaining.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. It is truly appreciated. You're all absolute stars. And I can't wait to share with you what I do eventually choose. All right, so I'll see you next week if you're here. Take care. Bye-bye, chaps. Bye-bye, everyone.